The power of the state is unnecessarily, unduly usurped by the parliament or central government, union government. The outcome of NEET will be deprivation of rural students. India is not a uniform country. So capacity of a student in Tamil Nadu is different from a capacity of a student in Bihar. They are making the students as mark scoring machines.
Hello and welcome. This is Anna Isaac. Tamil Nadu has passed a bill to scrap NEET and to allow admissions to medical colleges based on class 12 marks. The aim of the bill is to ensure social justice, to ensure equal opportunity and equality, and to protect vulnerable students from discrimination. The bill was passed based on the recommendations of a high-level committee led by retired Judge Justice AK Rajan. Joining me today is Justice AK Rajan, who will break down why Tamil Nadu is against NEET. Thank you so much for speaking with us today, sir. Firstly, what is Tamil Nadu's major objections to the bill?
Basic objection is, it is our power. Our power means state's power. The power of the state is unnecessarily, unduly usurped by the parliament or central government, union government. That the state government objects primarily. That is the basic thing. Secondly, the consequences of such entrance examination. We have experienced the conduct of an entrance examination right from 1984. From 1984 till 2007, the entrance examination was conducted in Tamil Nadu. The Tamil Nadu government knew what is the pros and cons of entrance examination, how it affected the people of students in various area. After knowing all those things, they decided to abolish all those things. That is how they passed an act in 2007-6, and it came as to an act number 3 of 2007. That act abolished all entrance examination in Tamil Nadu, whether it is engineering or medicine, everything. Now this, after this presently, that was in 2007. In 2010 onwards, this act once again, 10D, all these things have come in now. So therefore, the state government is objects. Our power is unduly taken away. We do not want to give up that power because it is the power, basic power of admission of students.
So as far as students go, who does NEET affect?
Students study from class 1 to plus 2. For 12 years, they study in state board. Under this provision, National Commission Act also, all these marks obtained under qualifying degree, qualifying test is ignored completely. They become useless. Why should they study for 12 years hard work? They need not study like that. But this 12th examination is conducted by the government of over every state. So can you not believe the state's government's responsibility and power and capacity to judge a person like that? Having tested them in that line, in that manner, they are declared as qualified to pursue higher studies. That is the certificate given when you pass plus 2. When certificate is there, that gives you eligibility certificate to pursue higher studies, including medicine, engineering, or any other profession. Why do you want to have another test? Is it not troubling burdening the students for once again? Why should they write another test? That is the basic objection. Basic objection is, it is a second obstacle. Unnecessarily, they are already qualified. Why should they be pressed once again? Why should they be compelled once again to write another examination to get qualified? Then the entire study becomes a waste. And you cannot compare a student living in rural Ramnad district or not Kanyakumari, or Salem or Krishnagiri district, rural area. A person studying in a government high school in those areas cannot be compared with a student studying in city of Madras or Coimbatore or Madurai or Trichy, where he studies in a very posh high school. They are not equal. They cannot be treated equally. That is, equal treatment is done by plus 2 examination. So there they study, they are educated up to plus 2. The teachers educate them. The NEET examination is not educational. It is not based on education. It is based on rote test. That is, just like a lottery, pick and choose, yes or no, uh, by blind choice, like that. So for this, even for this, a student from rural area cannot compete, cannot have resources, they do not have whereabouts, wherewithal, they do not have the resources first of all. And this NEET examination now permits a student to write any number of times. There is no limit to number of attempts. And also there is no limit to age. In fact, in North India, in one instance, a person after retirement from government service joined a medical college passing NEET. Then if you go to the any medical college now and see the students' age group, you will find the 5th year student's age group will be the same as the first year student. You can see that. You need not believe me. You can see yourself. Go to any medical college, see the first year student. They are all aged people. They get at least 2 or 3 attempts they write. Only then they get into this.
I know you can't go deeply into the report.
Yes.
But can you just tell me who are the stakeholders who wrote to you about NEET?
All parents of present students, would be aspirants, and students who are writing now. Most of the letters we got was, majority of the letter, good majority of the letters, they said we do not want NEET. That is the one line answer. Many people wrote we do not want NEET, abolish NEET. Abolished NEET, that is the only one word answer we got in so many mails or letters. And there are people who could not write because of their poverty or inability to write, because inability to communicate through mail. They did not write, but they think that it is on their behalf. Many NGOs filed their representation. All those representations, we have gone through that, and everybody says that it is not good for the state of for any state, including state of Tamil Nadu, and we are already advanced in advanced stage. We will be pushed back to some backward states like in northern India. So with this, they do not want it, and even including parents, they do not want it. Except some people write, for 2 years, please don't scrap NEET. Some people say for 1 year, don't scrap NEET, because we have already prepared for that, so don't scrap. Like that we also got thing. But majority is NEET is not necessary, they do not want NEET. Our view is also, NEET is not necessary at all, because you are burdening the students for a second time. Now you can see the private medical colleges, even a person who got only 22 marks or 18 marks in the NEET examination are admitted. Whereas your question is you want merit. Also, merit is not merely writing the examination, getting through that. Merit is only, it must be proved in the profession. So all those doctors who are now practicing throughout India, nobody passed NEET. So do you mean to say they are all incompetent persons? We have got best doctors in India, in Tamil Nadu, especially in Tamil Nadu. All over India we got very best doctors. They did not pass NEET. So they passed only +2 qualifying examination, then studied medicine and became doctors. By experience, they became experts. So experience only makes a person expert, not by merely repeating what they studied in the courses. So NEET is not necessary, first of all, not necessary. Secondly, it affects the poor people, because unless you study in coaching classes for at least 2 years or 3 years, you cannot clear NEET. So for that you have to pay money, 25,000, 30,000, lakhs, it goes in lakhs. So they will not be afford to pay that much. First of all, they will not be able to afford, they cannot afford to waste 2 years or 3 years, and they don't have the money to spend so much of money. All these things are affecting the rural area people and poor people.
So you're saying that merit will not be lost if NEET is scrapped?
Definitely no. Definitely no. Merit will not be lost if you scrap NEET. Because even before NEET, the only persons who got 97, 98, 99 only got into admission, got into the colleges. So that will not be, is it not merit? If government of Tamil Nadu conducts a test, examination, in that they score 98, 99 marks, is it not merit? That is the basic question. Why should there be another test? Why do you want to burden the student with one more examination, with one way? Why do you want to burden the parents with more money to be spent on the student?
What do you believe are the long-term ramifications of NEET?
Tamil Nadu has got a very good health system for being followed. In almost every remote, even in remote villages, Tamil Nadu has established primary health centers. Each and every primary health center is manned by a qualified MBBS doctor. Such a system you will not find in anywhere in India. That has been accepted by almost every other state. For this, who will serve in the rural area? Only a person who is hailing from that area, around that place, will have the inclination to go and serve that area. If these persons are all prevented, if all the rural area peoples are all prevented from entering into medical colleges, in another 10 years, you will not have doctors to be posted for these PHCs, primary health centers. And they will be deprived of a qualified medical practitioner in all rural area, medical primary health centers. So that will ultimately affect the health of the people of Tamil Nadu. That will be the result. Within 10 years, this will happen.
Tamil Nadu wants to base its enrollment on the class 12 marks, but why is this considered a better basis for enrollment to its medical colleges?
Why should that should not be the basis? Please answer me. Why should that not be a basis? Because all along, right from Macaulay's period, 1835, this was the qualifying mark. So in those days, only those persons who got 33% minimum marks, minimum pass, 33% was the minimum pass. Those persons got into medical college, they studied, they became very good practitioners, very good experts. And later on, because then the demand grows, because the number of students who came out of schools are very limited. Now it is in large number, therefore demand increases. Because the demand increases, the government also has started new medical colleges almost in every district. That was the policy of the government even in 2006 or so. The government's policy was to start a medical college in each and every district. And now we are almost, Tamil Nadu almost getting completed. Except for the new districts, almost every state district has got a new medical college now. So it is only to facilitate the students living around to study medicine. That you want to, it cannot be deprived of that. And once you deprive of that, the medical system itself will collapse. Health system will collapse. Not only that, if an application of law does not get the desired result, then you have to see the outcome of that act. If the outcome of the act is does not satisfy your object for which you bring the law, you must change the law. So outcome also has to be seen. The outcome of NEET will be deprivation of rural students, poor students, all those things. It will only help this coaching class conducted by coaching classes. It is conducted by very big people, not ordinary people. Very big people are conducting. That's all known to you. So only to facilitate. There is also an argument by in some quarters only to facilitate these multinational or multi-corporate bodies or big corporate bodies. This NEET is being brought. That's one opinion.
So NEET was formed, one of the objectives of NEET was that it would reduce corruption. Do you think that has happened?
See, corruption, in what way it has improved earlier system? Earlier system, +2 marks, they were admitted only as per the marks. They were not, nobody was admitted with getting a lesser mark. But on the other hand, in the private medical colleges, earlier they could not admit students who did not get 50% of the marks. Now they get admitted even 22% marks, 18% marks also admitted. They get more money, they collect more money over in the right by openly they collect money. So it is actually it become beneficial to the private medical colleges. Instead of they don't now collect capitation fee. The capitation fee was collected stealthily. Now it is openly collected as a fees. They are not anyway deprived of their prospects.
So if NEET is scrapped, we will go back to the old systems where capitation fees will be returned. So how do we ensure that students are not once again burdened by capitation fees?
No, that has been already done. It was being done. Unless a person gets within this mark, no, we cannot admit a student. So you cannot eliminate completely at one stroke. It needs time. Some more time it may require. That is how it has to be. You must enforce it properly. It is only defect in enforcement, not in the legal aspects.
You said that NEET encourages private coaching centers. Do we know how much these coaching centers charge, and would you say that they are mostly geared to repeat students?
Definitely. I do not know exactly the fees they are collecting, but what we get from the information we got is it ranges from 35,000 to lakhs of rupees also. It depends upon area, everything. And we do not know the quality of where the 30,000 is collected. All those things we do not know anything. But you see how many coaching centers have come up now. What was the coaching centers prior to 17? You know by yourself. You can see the statistics. You take statistics. So many mushrooming of so many coaching centers only because of the NEET, not otherwise. So NEET, they are only repeatedly making you to write questions and answer, test them to write. It is only, I wrote in my report in 2007, this coaching centers and this so many examinations, by that they are making the students as mark scoring machines. They are only repeating what they, just like a Rabo, they repeat whatever they give instruction, they repeat. Beyond that they cannot think independently. Their thinking capacity is reduced, is stalled, and they cannot think independently after some time, because it is a continuous process. That process is completely eliminated, curtailed during the period when they undergo this training.
And that is because it's a multiple choice exam.
Yes. Repeatedly they are giving questions, answer every day a test, and beyond that they cannot think anything else. They do not know what is going around them. All those things are there.
But if we go back to the old system where class 12 marks remain the basis for enrollment to medical colleges, won't we go back to private tuition centers that is similar to private coaching centers? And these have flourished in areas like Namakal. So how do we ensure that we don't go back to that system?
That should be regulated by the Act. Act should not give any license for those students, those schools which run only +1 and +2. That is the basic fallacy. If it was granted so, some schools were run only like that. +1 and +2 only the school was meant for. That should not be the reason. That should not be allowed. And teaching is different. Learning is different from preparing for exam. Coaching is different from learning. Coaching is different from learning.
Some have suggested that instead of, since NEET is based on the CBSE syllabus, that perhaps a common syllabus should be created wherein it would be beneficial to both urban students and to rural students as well as to state board students. Is that something that could be perhaps a workable solution?
No, it's not correct. They neither say it is based on CBSE, not any. It's a combination of everything.
Okay.
See, the basic question is why? Why should there be a second examination? That is the basic question. Whether you follow this syllabus or the other syllabus, that is immaterial. Why should you have another test?
So the solution cannot be that we have a common syllabus that would be equal to both rural students and state board.
That is where the fallacy comes into. India is not a uniform country. So capacity of a student in Tamil Nadu is different from a capacity of a student in Bihar, capacity of a student in UP in understanding, or Nagaland, so remote places. So you cannot compel, you cannot make them to compete with like these two persons from Ramnad district cannot be equal to a person from Madras city, coming from affluent family. Similarly, a person from Madras, Tamil Nadu province cannot be compared with Bihar or Orissa or UP or Bombay. Some may be different. So each area is different. They got different culture, different way of method of living, type of coming up, how many students come up, all those things. There are so many things. We cannot enumerate all those things. Like that it is there. You cannot make a race horse to compete with a cart pulling horse. You cannot make a person who participate in Olympics to an ordinary high school student. Can you, is it fair competition? No, definitely no.
Some others have suggested that instead of scrapping NEET altogether, that perhaps Tamil Nadu should be focusing on improving its school education, improving its syllabus.
It all depends upon one's viewpoint. So we had a Samachir Kalvi brought in by, it was deliberately, a propaganda was started. This system, this syllabus is not adequate. It was started by some vested interest. But to my knowledge, I heard from the teachers who taught those syllabus, it's a very well drafted, prescribed syllabus. Very advanced syllabus, very good syllabus needed for them. So if there is any fault, the state is there to improve their syllabus. Nothing, they have to change it, repeat it. Periodically they must change. That is not an answer for NEET. I mean, that cannot be compensated by NEET.
What do you have to say to those who say that Tamil Nadu is insulating its state board students by scrapping NEET altogether, that they will be insulated from competitive exams?
No. Those who want to go to competitive examination still can go. Everybody is not going to write competitive examination. See, people also say now, some people even have stated openly in the press I has read. Now the people can compete for AIMS, JIPMER, all those things. Why do you want to exclude them? They will bring them also along with that, along with this NEET. They have excluded some colleges. Why should they exclude? Another thing, everybody is not going to JIPMER, everybody is not going to AIMS. So those who want to serve the local area, it is sufficient for them to know this much. I need not know 100%. It is sufficient for me to know 90%. It is permissible. What is wrong in that?
So even in the old system, not many government school students actually made it to MBBS programs. In fact, data shows that less than 1% of government school students actually got into medical colleges.
So that is different. If you see the data, see if you are now once again pulling me into the report. Data are different. It is not as you said. Data prove that till NEET was introduced, suppose 300 or 400 people have been selected in a particular year. Once on the year when the NEET was introduced, it came below 50. 400 to 50, below 50.
This
like
is government
that.
School students?
No, it is overall. The report contains all these data. I cannot say anything on that. Now I cannot remember everything. But basically, even those students who get admitted into science subjects have gone down because of this. That is the data.
Some have argued that given that a doctor is allowed to practice anywhere in India once they finish the MBBS programs, that the union government insisting on minimum standards is not a wrong thing.
So minimum standard is already, you can fix the minimum standard. So you say standard is fixed only at the time of writing examination. So unless you pass this standard of examination, you cannot be given the degree. That you can fix. We are not objecting to the state government is not objecting to fixation of standards in medical colleges. They are only objecting admission. So once they admitted, unless they pass through the syllabus fixed by the central union government, they cannot get the degree. So when they come out, they are fully qualified as per the standard fixed by the parliament, central government law, union government law. So standard is only after admission, not before admission.
Tamil Nadu is the only state in India that is against NEET. Do you think that it weakens Tamil Nadu's stand as far as this bill is concerned?
Why don't you believe that? Why do you doubt it? Why not the president give assent to that? It can give. That's what they hope. The government hopes they can get the assent. They can persuade the government to give assent. President to give the assent. They can. It is possible. And not only that, many people ask the same question to me earlier also. Why Tamil Nadu alone stands differently? Why Tamil Nadu alone reacts differently? The answer I gave was, Tamil Nadu is a forerunner for many things. See, only Tamil Nadu was forerunner for midday meals. Tamil Nadu is the forerunner for reservation in colleges, reservation in employment. Tamil Nadu is forerunner for women's rights. So many things, Tamil Nadu is the forerunner. So just because others do not ask, we should not, does not prevent me from asking, prevent the state from asking that.
And finally, sir, there have been a number of student suicides in the last few years, 3 in the last few days alone. What is your message to aspiring medical college students?
This is because of the fear of passing NEET. A person who got 200 marks after 200 to 199.8 into plus 2 marks could not pass NEET. Then where the defect lies? So a person who can get 198 marks is afraid of whether I will be able to pass through the NEET. Why should we why should we create such an situation? Because of that, young students lose their rights, lose their life, because they were building their ambition right from the class 1. They must become a doctor. After they got marks also, but still this is a stumbling block for them. You must test on what the subject you studied. You cannot test on a subject which you have not studied.
Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Okay, so much.
There you have it. That is Justice AK Rajan breaking down why Tamil Nadu is against NEET. This is Anna Isaac for the News Minute.